Hi, Walt. Welcome to our Motos America conference. We have Vance Harrison on the call. He is the CEO of Motos America. He is going to be discussing this offering and what he does, and possibly even talking about his adventures on his Ducati e-bike, which I would like one of those. But Vance, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mark. Well, good morning. Good morning, everyone. And I think we're recording this call, so we'll stick to it. But I'm Vance Harrison. As Mark said, I'm the CEO of Motos America. Motos America is a dealership consolidation group. We buy dealerships all over the country from retiring owners, and we take an inefficient business and we make it efficient. So I've been in the automobile business 30 years, and I've been in the motorcycle power sports business for 15 years. I was a top 5 BMW motorcycle dealer in the country, and I'm currently the president of the dealer council for BMW. So I'm very much connected in the industry. So I've got a PowerPoint I'm going to share with you guys here, if we can get that opened up. Here's our presentation. So I've got a short little clip here that will our disclosure, of course, that talks about the bond offering, but here's more about Motos America. Dealership consolidation. Let's face it, our industry is changing. Because of COVID, people are buying online. The internet changed the entire landscape of it. And the pandemic created a lot of stress on dealers that were ready to retire, or maybe dealers that were undercapitalized. Now they need to leave the business. That dealer that's been around for a long time, and people that built the industry, they did the hard work. They don't know what direction to go. It's created a huge opportunity for a dealership consolidation. We're going to provide to them. And that's what really gives me passion behind this project. There's a lot of opportunity in our industry. The timing right now couldn't be better. We're seeing an age of evolution right now that we've never seen before. It's something that's going to be changing how motorcycle dealerships and motorcycle manufacturers do business in the US. It's something that's already happened in the car industry. We're going to follow the lead of other successful companies that have done this, like AutoNation, like CarMax, creating a dealership network that the consumer can literally go to any dealership across the country and receive the same experience. Through the pandemic, we've known people want to come together, and that's what motorcycling is going to be about. It's going to provide them that experience. And right now, Motos America is creating something to foster that, to help it go forward. It's not just about buying a motorcycle, it's about the rides, bringing other riders together, meeting new people, seeing new places on a motorcycle, being able to travel new places on a motorcycle, or travel new places to pick up a motorcycle. We're going to be the network that connects them to that experience. With our Motos America executive team, they are the people behind all of this. They are famous racers. They have accomplished things worldwide. They're going to be able to connect with the consumer, our customer, one-on-one. They can go to a track day with someone like Lance Isaac, that's a world champion, world superbike racer, showing them how to ride their motorcycle better. I've already operated a business and proven out the exact concept of doing this. And now I've rolled out the Motos America concept in 3 dealerships in Oregon at this stage. And those dealerships are already profitable. And that's what makes the investment opportunity so unique. You can invest in something that's already been proven in the car industry. It's being rolled out into the motorcycle industry, disrupting it by being profitable day one. That's what Motos America is. You're really investing in a new way to help bring people together. All right. I always love to watch that video and see it. And so our brands we focus in on are BMW, Ducati, and Triumph. Those are the premium brands in the motorcycle industry. They're obviously owned by large corporations that know how to operate business and give us consistent supply. Our dealerships in the video was made a little while ago. We now have 14 dealerships across the country that we either own or we manage. I'm actually coming to you live today from Triumph Columbia River, one of our newest dealerships up in Portland, Oregon. And Now I like to say we're coast to coast, so we can distribute products from one coast to the other. And with motorcycles, it's seasonal, but this allows us to cross the inventory and share inventory across the country, which gives us huge economies of scale in sharing those inventory, also sharing accounting practices, marketing practices, so on and so forth. Our headquarters is based in Salt Lake City, Utah. That's where I live, and my executive team are based out of as well. The team that we have, I've put together a fantastic team of executives and directors. There's myself, but one of the most important people here is a gentleman by the name of Chris Artwarka. He worked for BMW for 29 years and was actually the vice president of BMW motorcycles in the Americas from 2014 to 2017. So he understands the business and exactly what's going on. Another key piece to this is our chief operating officer. He managed multiple franchises. And this last one was 26 different locations, so he understands our processes that we take to manage those companies. Now, this is a bond offering. It's a debenture note. It's a 506C Reg D offering, and we're raising capital to finish up our acquisitions and to continue on more acquisitions. It's a total raise of $14 million. We've raised to date just under $7 million. It's a minimum investment in our bond of $28,000. Now, the way we structure this, it's 11% yield to maturity. And the way it works is you buy the bond at a discount up front. So it's a $1,000 bond. You actually pay $947 for it. And then the first 2 years of interest is based out of 8.5%. And we pay that every quarter, the interest payments. And then the third year, when the bond matures, it matures at the $1,000 mark, which with the 8.5% combined and then the maturity of the bond, it gives you a 15% return in the third year. So over the total term of the bond, it gives you 11% yield to maturity. Now, this maturity happens in September 2026. And like I say, it's paid quarterly as far as interest goes. But here's a huge benefit that we added to this. And being that Motos America is actually a public company, now that means that we're fully compliant. And our plan is to do an uplift from the OTC market to the NASDAQ market in the next 3 to 5 years. So to add a little bit of extra benefit for our investors, we've given at no extra charge 2 warrants per bond purchased. Now, the warrants are fantastic because it's at a $5 strike price, which is basically today's valuation on the company. Now, these warrants we've extended through the end of June. The former warrant price was $15, but we enhanced it at $5 strike price. Now, the way that works, if you invest $100,000 in the bond, you of course get your 11% yield to maturity on that, but then you'll receive 2 warrants, so 50 shares per bond. So in this example, you'll have 212 warrants at a $5 strike price. That turns into 10,600 shares. Now, you can imagine if that share price increases and it goes up even $1, $2, $3, it's a significant enhancement to your return. And this is just an added benefit on top of your 11% yield to maturity. And that's what we're offering on our bond. Now, we have a MIC Law report, which is the third-party review that reviewed our company. They took 9 months and they visited our locations and verified the business plan. We're currently doing our 2023 audit through Green Growth CPAs, and we have a fully compliant website and also an offering portal that you can manage everything digital, including your investment. The PPM is on there, and all your subscription is done digitally, so it's very easy to subscribe. Here's our investor portal I talked about. It's based on our website. You just go to Invest Now at Motos America, and it'll have the portal information. So in closing, it's a simple capital raised on a bond. It's a 11% yield to maturity, fixed income product, but our company is growing and our industry is ripe for this consolidation. And it's becoming more and more prevalent that we're going to follow the pace of the car world that has 6 different publicly traded companies that own most of the dealerships across the country. So we're just taking that in the premium segment and the luxury segment and rolling out. Like I said, I've got lots of experience in this industry, and I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any. Any questions out there I can answer?
Hey, Vance, I'll ask you one. You primarily focus on France, BMWs, and Ducatis. What is the thought process on that? Because in America, Harley Davidson has been the primary motorcycle choice for Americans, but want to get your thoughts on why that's changing or how it's changing.
Sure. Which Mark, that's a great question. Thank you for bringing that up. I mean, Harley Davidson has been the 900-pound gorilla in the room. And what we're doing is really what Harley Davidson did. We create a lifestyle. So it's not about selling one motorcycle. It's about selling multiple motorcycles and getting people into that lifestyle. Well, as we've seen with Harley Davidson's performance, they're the 900-pound gorilla, but unfortunately their market share is actually dropping. And it's dropping because of their demographic is aging out. Then also the new demographic coming in wants something a little bit different. And that's the European space that's coming in. If you notice, European cars are the same way. The new demographic wants that high-end performance, and they also want a luxury premium product. And so what we're seeing is we're more insulated being that luxury premium product to industry downturns. We don't see the huge upturns, but we also don't see the huge downturns because, again, our demographic is a little of an upper end demographic. Typically 46 to 62 is the core demographic. And so we're seeing growth in our segment. And Mark, to give you an example, there's almost 700 Harley Davidson dealerships. Well, there's only 150 BMW dealerships. And I say BMW motorcycle dealerships. And so you can see there's a huge opportunity for growth. So as Harley starts to drop down, we see the European segment coming up. And all of our brands are in that growth mode and gaining market share. But great question. It's also by the way, it's also a very inefficient space in that the ownership of the dealerships are typically an older group that have aged out and they're hobbyists. And so it's really ripe for this dealership consolidation. And we're rolling out software programs, we're rolling out digital retailing programs, we're rolling out our facilities with electrification planning. And so as that market grows, or if we grow into that market, we'll be prepared for it. Where a lot of the current owners, they really don't want to do that. They want to exit out of the business and retire and let someone else do that. At the same time, our manufacturers, BMW, Ducati, Triumph, they're looking for people like us to grow the distribution, grow their sales, grow their market share. They need us to be there to grow that business. And that's where we're seeing the opportunity. And then by the consolidation, I mean, 14 dealerships already nationwide and still growing, we see a ton of economy of scale between everything. I mean, I'm in the Portland store today, and we have 3 stores in Oregon. We're able to share inventory, share customers, rides, experiences, servicing, everything, parts, another big one between all of us. So really, it's something an individual owner really can't do.
How is the electric bike going to affect your industry?
Sure. I mean, everyone's talking about it. Motorcycles are slower to adapt because of the weight and the size of the batteries and the expense. And then, of course, the distance. I mean, people want to ride a bike for a long ways. But in urban settings, that's where the electrification is coming in. And we're all seeing that with electric scooters and electric bicycles. And they have a new saying now, pedals to pegs, which is an electric bicycle compared to an electric motorcycle. All 3 of our manufacturers are in that space, and they have technology they're working on, but they're also very nimble, and they're watching it because BMW, for example, is looking at synthetic fuels. They already have a synthetic fuel product that they can roll out. So everyone's ready to pivot whichever way they go, but each of our manufacturers are ready to do that. And so our dealerships, you have to be set up with charging, you have to be set up with the right servicing, and we have that in our dealerships. That's part of our transition when we come in and take over the stores. We want to be in that market if that comes up.
You said BMW is working on synthetic fuels. Are they still messing around with hydrogen?
They are. Yeah. I mean, I was in Munich recently at a big meeting, and they said they've got it ready to go. They get more horsepower, better gas mileage than normal gas, than petrol fuel, and they don't have a distribution system for it. So they're really focused on hybrids, which is gas powered and electric, because I think they want to pivot into that synthetic fuel space. And I think you're seeing that in the industry. There's a lot of talk about hydrogen, a lot of talk about synthetic fuels, bridging the gap from electrification. So, but we'll see. And like I say, each of our manufacturers are major manufacturers, and so they can pivot whichever way that needs to go in the marketplace. But motorcycling is still alive and well, and people love it. They love the lifestyle behind it, and especially in the U.S., we're seeing growth in our markets. If you think about it, the average price of a new car is $48,000 now, and gasoline's expensive, maintenance expense, insurance has gone through the roof. And so we're starting to see a little more of that trend like there's in Europe, that people buy a motorcycle for transportation now. And I think we'll see not only the lifestyle grow, but also the utility of it grow.
I get your point about insurance. I have an 18-year-old. We just put him on the car.
Me too.
Spending $10,000 a year now on auto insurance.
Yeah. Yeah, so motorcycles are great, especially in urban spaces, parking costs, those types of things. Again, motorcycles are a big solution for that. I mean, in Oregon up here, the ridership is incredible.
We've had a few people join late. Can you go over the investment opportunity again?
Yeah. So Motos America is doing a bond offering. It's a 506c Reg D bond offering. The minimum investment is $28,000. It's 11% yield to maturity, and the interest is paid every quarter. But one thing that's nice about the bond is we have that's a great fixed income product, consistent interest, great return. But as a icing on the cake, or as an added benefit for our investors, we give them a warrants per bond they purchase. And the cool thing about the warrant is the stock price is set at $5, which is today's evaluation price. But they have 5 years to exercise that warrant. So up to December 2027 is when they can exercise that warrant. And so it's really, I mean, I guess it's just under 5 years now, but it's really cool because their bond will mature. They'll get the 11% yield to maturity, but then they'll have these warrants set aside. That's a cash exercise. If the stock price goes up, exercise the warrants and go. If it doesn't, there's no harm, no foul. But we feel like there's a big return on that side to it. And that's what our company is doing, is we're really focused on that stock exchange and going from the OTC market up to the NASDAQ market in the next few years.
I've added my name and contact information here in the chat, so if anybody wants to contact me. We have anybody else who wants to ask any calls or any questions?
We have a great resource, Mark, on our website, motosamerica.com, invest now, and they can go in and register right there, and it just gives you a password to get into it, and they can see all the bond information. They can see our private placement memorandum there. They can get a lot of information off the site as well. We've got a really good resource there.
Okay, great. Well, if we don't have any other questions, we'll call it a day. I know Vance has got a busy day. He joined us after flying in from Salt Lake to Portland this morning. And I appreciate your time today, Vance, and we'll see what interest we have.
Coming to you live from Triumph Columbia River. So pretty exciting stuff. And feel free to check out any of our websites, our social media. Yeah, we had last month 1.1 million hits on our Instagram and Facebook. So we're making a big wave in our industry. Oh, and by the way, we're the largest Triumph dealer in the world now, if you can believe it.
Largest motorcycle dealership group in the world?
Triumph motorcycle dealership in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Hey, I appreciate your time this morning. And if anybody else has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I appreciate everybody's time. Thanks.
Thanks, Mark. See you later.